the way. Jesus said to him, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
So I think this is a promise of Jesus that there's an image of a house, a big house where many rooms with many dwelling places, he said. That's my Father's house. And so thinking a little bit about Bill and just looking at just the different pictures here and the different people, friends and families who are here, and just seems like that he had a full life. And also Julie was telling me that he had some family members also that had preceded him and been to heaven too before him. So we can imagine that kind of a dwelling place, like together again in the big house of God the Father, and maybe joking with each other again, eating again, whatever they're doing right now. But it's like that kind of a fellowship about reuniting with our brothers and sisters, the people we love in heaven, together again. So I think maybe that is the hope for us, his friends and family members who are left behind. Just the assurance of knowing that Bill is not alone, he's with God, but he's also united with his loved ones again, to be in communion again together. And one day we too will be there with him again. So my condolences to Lucy, Julie,
Father.
and Michelle, and all his family and friends. But again, with the assurance that Jesus has promised us that we will be together again in heaven in the Father's house. So
Thank you very much, Father. Thank you.
Thank you.
Julie, you wanna read your?
Oh, right now?
you said that. At
Isn't
the
it?
end, right?
Yeah. And then after that we eat.
Oh, yes, I better get my glasses.
Big smile.
smile.
Big smiles.
Big smile.
From our family.
Oh, thank you. You just have to put it. Can you hold? Okay, let me
Where
just.
do you want? You
Oh.
want in the house?
Yeah.
My Aunt Marion, who was my favorite aunt, wrote this, but I wanted to read it because it's all this stuff about my dad and really sweet. If I mess up, don't be mad at me because I'm really nervous.
That's okay. We're all nervous, especially me.
She says, I'm Bill's little sister Marion. Dear sweet Lucy,
Yes.
thank you for the loving care you gave to Bill for the past 3 years. Thank you for being his loving wife who made him so very happy. Joining as a teenager, Bill had a successful career with the United States Air Force where he accomplished much. He started as a jet mechanic, went on to become crew chief, and then became chief over many crews. He was stationed at multiple bases with Strategic Air Command. When I was a little girl, my big brothers were my heroes, and still were when I became grown. Bill was my big brother all my life till his passing. He was the greatest big brother. When I was very small, he would play with me, sometimes showing me how to throw dice, and later he would get on the floor and play jacks with me. When Bill went into the military and would come home on leave, he took me and my younger brother Don to do things like the 4th of July parade. He took us swimming. When his daughter Julie was a baby, he taught her to stand on his hand, and I'm telling you, that went through generations. Before I could even walk, I have a picture of my dad balance me on his hand, standing up.
Yeah, all my kids do.
Oh, well, yeah, that's my brother. This is Keith. That's Bill's son. And that's
like
his...
a broomstick and just.
Yeah, where's Scott? Oh, Scott's his grandson.
There's the grandson.
My nephew.
Yeah.
And then when my son was 3 months old and we visited for Christmas, he taught my son Anthony stand on his father's hand and hold his balance. It was amazing. When I was in a very bad marriage, Bill found time to see me. One night when Michelle, my daughter, there's Michelle, say hi. My daughter was just a tiny infant. He said, let's go to a drive-in movie. He loaded Michelle's bassinet into the rear of the station wagon, and Bill, Anthony, Michelle, and I took off to a movie at the local drive-in. He adored my daughter Michelle, who would sit on his chest first thing in the morning when he visited to talk with him when she was small. He carried my son Anthony on his shoulders all through Disneyland when he was 4. He just loved children. He always showed me love. Everything we did together was always fun. We were friends as well as brother and sister. When I left my first husband, I went to Arizona to Bill's house with both of my children. Bill was so caring and compassionate. One evening later on, he called me and told me he was going to Vegas the next day. The following morning, early, I heard a knock on the door. And there stood Bill with a big smile. He said he could just tell that I needed him, so there he was. The final time I left my first husband and went to Bill's with my 2 children, Bill was wonderful to them. When I was so sad and distressed, he took me out to dinner and dancing. They both loved to dance, and I do too. They could dance up a storm. When I was so sad, I read that part. He was always loving, caring, and determined to make me happy. We always had so much fun together. What a big brother. On my wedding day, Bill walked me down the aisle to marry my husband, Steve, and she's been with him ever since. They've been together forever. I could never forget all the wonderful things about Bill in my life. I could never put into words how much I loved my amazing big brother. We were the last siblings of our birth family, and now that he is gone, I am the last. In later years of life, Bill was so very happy with the love of his life, Lucy. Oh, I hate that. In the later years of his life, Bill was so very happy with the love of his life, Lucy. Thank you, Lucy, for giving Bill many good years of happiness and so tenderly caring for him when he became so ill and paralyzed. My amazing brother married an amazing wife.
Thank you.
Lucy told me that just before Bill died, she asked him if he was ready to meet Jesus, and he said, yes, I am. What a blessing to know how he felt. I pray for God to surround you, Lucy, with his comfort, strength, and love. We will never forget my brother Bill, and I will always love my brother. Lucy told me the story. She was sitting in bed with him, and she was so devastated. And every time I talked to her, she was just bawling on the phone and everything. And then she called me the day passed and was still crying and everything. But then she told me that she told my dad, honey, it's okay if you want to go home because I'm going to be okay. I have brothers and sisters and neighbors and people that care about me that are going to be here for me. And she told him it was okay to go home. And she came back from the kitchen.
And when I came back,
he was gone.
he passed away already.
He just needed to hear that she was okay with it.
Yeah, he doesn't want to leave me until I say I'm okay.
He was hanging in there for her.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Isn't that just wonderful?
Yeah. He's my soul.